So as we all know, UFC 307 is coming up in a few days. The event being headlined by Alex Pereira and Khalil Rountree Jr. I don't know how the hell he secured some title shot after failing a drug test, but anyway, that's not important. What is important are my predictions. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Alright, so yeah, first fight, McGee versus Tim Means. This is just some NPC fight. Whoever loses probably just get cut from the UFC. If we look at McGee, he's on a 3-fight losing streak. If we look at Tim Means, he lost his last fight, then won before that, then lost 3 times before that. These guys have very dodgy records. But if I was to go for someone to win this, I would go for Tim Means to get this done, to be honest. I don't really know anything about these two, but yeah, I'm going to just go with Tim Means to get the win here. Next fight we have is between the former champion Carla Esparza versus Tisha Pennington. I didn't even clock. Tisha Pennington is literally Raquel Pennington's wife. So yeah, that's kind of mad. Anyway, first up we have Carla Esparza, the Cookie Monster. Interesting nickname. But yeah, I didn't even realize, like, she's not even ranked anymore. It's been so long since she lost for almost 2 years, where she got submitted by Zhang Weili. If we look at Tisha Pennington, 13-7 record, she has lost her last 2 fights to Tabitha Ritchie and Mackenzie Dern. This was actually a really hard one to call because Carla Esparza has been off for such a long time, and she is coming off of a loss as well. But I think she said, is this her last fight? I think she did say this is going to be her last fight. I'm probably going to go with Carla Esparza to win this fight. Next fight is a very interesting one. Ryan Spann versus Ovince St. Preux. A fight between 2 very established fighters within the UFC. Obviously, we know that OSP has actually had a title shot against John Jones in which he lost. But if we look at Ryan Spann, look, they're both probably on the tail ends of their career, especially OSP. He's getting older in age now. Ryan Spann is on a 3-fight losing streak. He's lost to Nikita Krylov, Anthony Smith, and Bogdan Guskov. So it's not exactly looking amazing for him. If we look at OSP, 27-17 record. He did win his last fight to Kennedy Nchekwu. So that's interesting. He's a very hit and miss fighter, though. Literally, if you look at his record, it's 2 wins, 1 loss, 2 losses, 3 wins. It's just very hit and miss with OSP. You never know what flipping version of OSP is gonna pull up, but I think overall, OSP can get it done. I do hope he gets it done because he's a long-time veteran of the UFC. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with, OSP to win this fight. Next fight we have is Cesar Almeida versus Ihor Potieria. If we look at Cesar Almeida, 5-1 record, so very recently started fighting. Well, not very recently, it's just that he hasn't fought very much. He started in 2016 and he's literally only had 6 fights since then. He lost to Roman Kopylov in his last fight at UFC 302. So that's who he lost to. If you look at Ihor Potieria, he lost his last fight via guillotine to Michel Pereira. We all know that Michel Pereira performance was amazing. But what can I say? He is a showman. I think it's hard to say. I think I would go with Cesar Almeida to win this fight. Next fight we have is Austin Hubbard versus Alexander Hernandez. If we look at Hubbard, he's 16-7 record. He won his last fight against Mikhail Figlak. Okay, I've got no idea who that is. He hasn't really beaten anyone too well known. He's only had 2 fights within the UFC. If we look at Alexander, the Great Ape Hernandez, he has a 14-8 record. He won against Jim Miller, but he has also lost to Renato Moicano. He lost to Judoba, lost to Donald Cerrone. He has actually got a KO win over Beneil Dariush. That's interesting. But yeah, recently he hasn't been on a very good streak. He's on a 2 losing streak. Sorry. But yeah, overall for this fight, who do I think is gonna win? Austin Hubbard won via unanimous decision in his last fight. I'm probably going to go with Alexander Hernandez to win this fight. Next up, we have an absolute belter of a fight. Marina Rodriguez versus Yasmin Lucindo. Wow, man, I can't wait. Genuinely, this is such a flipping dead fight. Bro, just look at Marina Rodriguez's picture, bro. She looks like a pipsqueak. She looks like a little Anyway, yeah, I got Yasmin Lucinda winning this fight. Alright, now we're talking. We're getting into the good stuff now. Pause on that part. Stephen Thompson versus Joaquin Buckley. Yeah, Stephen Thompson, we all know, Wonder Boy, as they call him. He's 41 years old now. That's crazy to think about. But yeah, obviously, amazing striker. We all know about his striking, genuinely. He's got such a stacked resume. Fought so many people. Johnny Hendricks, Rory McDonald, Tyron Woodley, Jorge Masvidal, Darren Till, Anthony Pettis, Vicente Luque. The list goes on, innit? But yeah, he did indeed lose his last fight almost a year ago to Shavkat Rakhmonov via submission, rear naked choke. Joaquin Buckley, Mr. Shite call-outs. Anyway, he's got, bro, why do his ears come out like that? And he looks like, never mind, bro. Anyway, listen, he's on a 4-fight winning streak. He won against Vicente Luque. He also won against Nursultan Ruziboyev. But I mean, he's never really beat anyone good, you know. He lost to Holland. He lost to Imamov. He lost to Chris Curtis. He's not amazing, I'll be honest. He's good, but he just hasn't beat anyone. So can he be an old washed up Stephen Thompson? I don't know. I think he will be able to get it done, even though obviously I want Stephen Thompson to win. I think Joaquin Buckley will be able to get it done. But yeah, next fight we have is Ketlen Vieira versus Kayla Harrison. Ketlen Vieira, 14-3 record. She hasn't fought in a year, almost a year and a half since she has fought within the UFC. She won her last fight against Pani Kianzad. She also notably lost against Raquel Pennington in January of 2023. So it has been a while since she last fought. If we look at Kayla Harrison, on the other hand, she has a nice 17-1 record. 13 of those wins actually coming by way of stoppage. That's pretty interesting. We all know UFC 300, she submitted and beat Holly Holm, so that was a nice win. I'll be honest, I don't really like her. You know, I think she talked a lot of smack about my guy Henry Cejudo. For you guys that don't know, he's one of my favorite fighters. I don't know why, but yeah, so I don't really like her for that. But I do think she will get the win easily here. If she doesn't get the win here, I think it will be very detrimental for her career. Not very detrimental, but I think it will be affect her career greatly. So I think she can't afford to lose this. But yeah, I mean, she looks like Brock Lesnar. She shouldn't be losing this fight. Anyway, next fight we have is Roman Dolidze versus Kevin Holland. Two fighters that I do very much like. Roman Dolidze, the Caucasian. I don't know what the hell kind of nickname that is, but yeah, the one thing I need to notice that's very noticeable within this fight, within this matchup, is that Dolidze must be much bigger than Holland, right? You know, I know Holland's taller, but Holland fights within the welterweight and middleweight division. Roman Dolidze fights within the middleweight and light heavyweight division. As we all know, he's coming off a win in June against Anthony Smith at UFC 303. I'm pretty sure that was actually the co-main event, if I'm not bugging. But yeah, so yeah, he did come off a win in the light heavyweight division against Anthony Smith. So that's pretty interesting. Then we have Kevin Holland, obviously one of the best gatekeepers in the UFC, the Trailblazer. He's actually called, I can't lie. But yeah, he came off a win UFC 302 against Mikhail Oleksiejczuk by an armbar. So that's interesting. He's a bit of a hit and miss fighter. I do like them both. I do think though, bro, can I even pick against Kevin Holland, bro? Genuinely, this guy's actually such a wild card. He's so unpredictable, but I think I'm gonna go with a sensible option here. I'll go with Roman Dolidze to win this fight. Even though I like them both, I'll probably go with Roman Dolidze to win this fight. Next fight we have Jose Aldo versus Mario Bautista. Obviously we all know what a legend Jose Aldo is. Former featherweight champion within the UFC. One of the best featherweights of all time, if not the best featherweight of all time. He went on some crazy run, loads of title defenses, but yeah, he is up there in age now. I'll be honest, 38 years old within the lower weight divisions. You know, it doesn't hold up the best, especially in those divisions where, you know, fighters focus on speed and stuff like that, like agility. When you get older, that kind of fades away. So I don't know what we'll see, but in his last fight against Jonathan Martinez, he did look very, very good. So that was a nice, easy win for Jose Aldo. He looked very nice in that fight. If you look at Mario Bautista, he is also on a nice little win streak of himself. 6-5 win streak, I believe. He hasn't really fought anyone too amazing. I think this is a very good matchup. So big up to the UFC for making this fight. But if I'm going to have to go with someone to win, Jose Aldo, I do hope he wins. And I will pick him. I think I'll go Jose Aldo to win this fight. You know, he's a very good striker, as we know. And so, yeah, I think, you know, old man skill. He's not even that old. I'm violating. But, yeah, I'm going to go Jose Aldo to win this fight. Next fight we have is the co-main event of the evening. Raquel Pennington defends her bantamweight women's title against Juliana Pena. As we all know, Raquel Pennington is the champion of the division. 16-8 record. If we look at her previous wins, she's on a nice little win streak. 6-fight win streak. Including people like Ketlin Vieira and Mayra Bueno Silva, of course, to win the title earlier this year. If we look at Juliana Pena, I do actually like Juliana Pena, to be fair. Like, she is one of my favorite women's MMA fighter. Like, I don't really watch that much women's MMA, but she's someone I do like, to be fair. The Venezuelan Vixen, she's pretty leng as well, I'll be honest. But anyway, she lost her last fight to Amanda Nunes. Before that, she won against Amanda Nunes. That was one of the craziest wins like ever in women's MMA, because she literally beat the GOAT when no one expected her to. Second fight was a bit dead, but you know, it's been a while, over 2 years since she fought within the UFC. She's still somehow number one ranked. This is what I was talking about earlier. Like it's crazy how it's been so long since she fought and she's still number one ranked. But yeah, I'm gonna go with this is actually a really hard one to call, to be honest. Even though I don't like to say it, I think I will have to go with Raquel Pennington to win this fight. You know, she's on a nice little win streak. She fought and got the belt earlier this year. Juliana Pena, it's been a long time since she last fought, so I think she might be a bit rusty. And also, her last performance against Amanda Nunes wasn't the best. So, I'm going to go with Raquel Pennington to win this. I do hope Juliana Pena wins this, though. I'm probably not even going to watch it, to be honest, but yeah. And then we have the main event. Alex Pereira taking on Khalil Rountree Jr. As much as the fans don't want to admit that Khalil Rountree Jr. deserves the title shot, even I don't think he deserves the title shot, but what you guys do have to admit is that the UFC cooked with this matchup. Even Khalil Rountree even knows it, bro. He knows that these two are strikers, and this is what the fans want to see. A striker versus a striker. Two very good strikers, might I add. Alex Pereira, of course, we know is a champion. Former middleweight champion as well. He's on a nice little win streak, 4-fight win streak, beating the names of Jan Blachowicz, Yuri Prochazka, Jamal Hill, and Yuri Prochazka again. But yeah, I mean, he's obviously an amazing striker, as we've seen. We've not seen too much of his wrestling, but I mean, he's mostly a stand-up guy. Khalil Rountree Jr., low-key, people are kind of sleeping on him. People think that he has no chance. He definitely 100% has a chance. He's got some freakish power. I don't know what is wrong with this guy's power, but yeah, genuinely his power is crazy. Even if I don't know if you guys saw that video where they did like the grip strength test, and then Alex Pereira got like 159 and Khalil Rountree beat him. He got like 166. That was kind of mad. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but yeah. So super excited to see this fight. Even if I don't think he deserves it, I think this still be a sick matchup. And look, I mean, you can't if he is gonna strike, which he is obviously. I'm just gonna go with Alex Pereira. No messing about here. Obviously, Khalil Rountree is either man can, if they hit each other with a nice shot, I mean, both of them can get knocked out, obviously. But yeah, I think Alex Pereira's striking is just crazy good. So for that reason, I'm going to go with Alex Pereira. I wouldn't mind to see Khalil Rountree Jr. winning, you know. It's just that Alex Pereira is he's such a unique character. You get me? No glazing, but he's very much different towards very much different than the other, like compared to the other fighters within the division. But it would be a nice story if Khalil Rountree wins this. Obviously, if you know his background, like his story and stuff, it's kind of cool. But yeah, so I'm gonna go Alex Pereira to win this fight. That's about it. You guys let me know in the comment section down below who you think is gonna win this fight. And yeah, I'll see you afterwards after the UFC 307 with the analysis. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, safe.